Hi, and welcome back to the patch. It's January, and the depths of winter have arrived. If I'm being honest, January may be my least favorite month. The bitter cold has settled in, and the landscape, although beautiful, crackles with the stillness of hibernation season. Snow covers the once lush gardens, and we are housebound once again. I've never been much for New Year's resolutions, but I admit January also brings with it a sense of hope and, of course, a sense of planning. For me, I do most of my garden planning, or more appropriately, garden dreaming, in the coldest part of winter, where just the thought of sunny skies is enough to spark a small flame of renewed energy. Garden planning, seed starting, and garden-related outings are sprinkled throughout the next couple months with the intent of boosting dopamine when it is needed most. Today, let's talk about some of the big dreams I have for the garden this year, and I'll share some of the challenges I've already begun facing. We'll start outside, but stay tuned because we're going to talk about seed starting later in the video. With a big storm on the way in a few days, I decided to tackle something big as well. This blue shed, while I've done what I can with it since moving in 10 years ago, has always been an eyesore and frankly a bit of a hazard in the yard. It is pretty much all plywood with the exception of like the beams or whatever. And obviously the roof is a disaster. I have had big plans for this area for as long as I can remember, but today is the day we finally make a move towards those big dreams. So let me start by just telling you what I envision for this space, and just know that this is a dream. So I'm not like 100% confident that I can make it all happen, but I am pretty confident, like 90%. I know there's a lot of troubleshooting to be done, a lot of things we're going to have to plan for. Anyway, my plan for this area, first off, is to tear down the blue shed. It's a disaster. It's got to go. But once it's gone, what's the plan? Well, what I really want to do is to acquire for free, because you guys know me, free is for me, is to acquire a very small, free camper that is in need of like a total makeover, total revamp. Basically, there's like always free campers on Facebook Marketplace. If you don't know, now you know. There's always. But we're really limited in our options because of the size of this space. So what I'm looking for, and have found a couple of times, more than one occasion on Facebook Marketplace, is a really small, hopefully vintage camper. Like most of the ones that I've seen are called Shastas. They're not quite as small as like a teardrop trailer, but they're very small. None of them are bigger than like 13 feet long, which is just right for this space. I really cannot go any bigger than that. There are a bunch of challenges that are going to come along with this plan, this dream. I won't get into all of it now, but basically just like the logistics of making something like this happen. But for now, what I do know is that this blue shed has to go. I just want to be ready. If the perfect situation arises, if the stars align, I want to be ready, right? So we're tearing down the blue shed. It's supposed to snow in a few days, but we have a couple of days of decent weather before that. So I really want to get as much done as I possibly can. I'm going to start with just like a hammer and a crowbar and start at the top and work my way down. Yeah? So let's see what we can do. So we did it. We were able to get the whole area pretty clear. Drew made several trips to the dump, and we do still have some really big wall pieces left to get rid of. But overall, I think we really accomplished a lot in just a few days, and I'm so happy with it. The next step is going to be to finish the back fence line. That's something we're going to have to wait until the spring to do, because obviously the ground is frozen. So for now, I'm just putting up some of the green garden fencing so Boomer doesn't get out. Now let's move back inside and talk a little bit about seed starting. As you guys might know, I've been starting seeds pretty seriously now for probably like 5 or 6 years. And by seriously, I just mean that I do like a lot of seed starting, and I would consider myself good at it. It's gotten bigger every year to the point where I start like between like 1,000 and 2,000 seedlings every year. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's definitely one of the things that helps me with things like seasonal depression, getting out of the funk of winter. Anyway, this year I decided that I wanted to change it up a little bit. I knew I wanted to change seed companies. That was the first thing. Normally I buy from Baker Creek, and I've always had good luck with their seeds. I just started to get kind of like a weird vibe from some of the things that I was seeing in their catalog and on their website. And just when I looked further into it, I just did not like what I was seeing. I am sorry that I'm not getting super more into detail about that. Just know that if you don't like woke leftists, this is not the channel for you. Okay, because that's me. I'm a woke leftist. And anyway, moving on. I'm changing seed companies. And so this year I decided to order from Swallowtail Garden Seeds for my first order. I ordered from them last year just like a few things, and it worked out. So I went with them for most of my starting flowers, like my pansies, my violas, my other cool flowers. I actually made a video about the seed haul. I will link that in the description. So that was the first change that I made. The other change that I made was my seed starting mix. Normally I use the Jiffy seed starting mix. I've used that for years and years. I've always had good luck with it. But I just wanted to try my hand at making my own seed starting mix. I heard that was like easy to do. And actually it was a while ago, like a couple months ago. So I am sorry, I don't know exactly what I used, but I know I used compost and then either sphagnum moss, however you say that, or that coconut fiber stuff. I'm not positive. And then I used one other thing. You're supposed to use 3 things. Anyway, it looked good. I didn't anticipate any problems, but then I went ahead, I started my seeds. I started violas, pansies, and alyssum. They all have instructions with how to start them. So when you start seeds, they'll have specific instructions on them usually. For example, the pansies want darkness to germinate, that kind of thing. I did everything I was supposed to. Like I said, I've been doing this for many years. I have heat mats for germinating. I have humidity domes. I have all the things. Nothing was working, you guys. I really was struggling to figure out why this was happening. My main problem with finding the answer to that question is that in the world of like scientific method, I've already changed 2 variables, right? So I changed my seed supplier, and I also changed my soil mix. So I am not 100% positive what the problem is. Also, it's ridiculously cold this year, even for Connecticut. And our house is not well insulated at all. So I was worried that they weren't reaching the temperature that they needed to reach for germination, even with the heat mats. And then, of course, some seeds just take longer to germinate. So I just waited. I the pansies and violas said up to 2 weeks. At this point, it has been well over 3 weeks. It's been probably close to a month. And I will admit, I am feeling very discouraged, very defeated. Starting the first seeds of the season is like getting the ball rolling, you know? So to fail so miserably right out of the gate felt like a setup for the rest of the year. And that's just kind of how my mind works. That's how things can kind of spiral when you're already feeling down. Like, I've taken some time to think about this and to realize the actual gravity of it. And it isn't much. They're just little things that I had hopes for. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. I am going to start over. I do believe that it was the soil mix and not the seeds. I hope so. I really hope so. Because I do still have some other seeds from Swallowtail. And like I said, I've had luck with them before, so I don't want to blame them at all. I do think it was the soil mix. So I'm going back to my old standby of the Jiffy Mix. I'm moving on. No pansies this year, but we're going to still do other things. Plenty of other things, obviously. It's still early, you guys. It's not even February yet. So I've got a ton of saved seeds as well. And we're just going to plan B it. I've ordered more seeds for my next round anyway, so I'll be doing a video on that. And I'm excited about that because I ordered from Select Seeds this time, which is a semi-local company to me. So I'm excited. So stay tuned for that. And I guess that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.